Thank you for hosting me for the 10th iteration of the French-American Cybersecurity Conference. And let me be one of the first to congratulate this group on the landmark of a decade meeting together. Merci to Ambassador Laurent Billy for reinforcing the importance of cybersecurity by hosting this event, and General Jean-Paul Palomeros for his work leading the steering committee. If I were able to share these remarks in person, I know I would see dear colleagues from a long history of US-French cybersecurity cooperation. Last month, I was pleased that Director General Vincent Stroubel, Director General Caroline Robert-Algaillet, International Affairs Officer from the Agence Nationale de la Sécurité des Systèmes d'Information, sorry about that, I always refer to them merely as ANSI, and Océane Thériault from the Embassy of France, here in the US at our third Counter-Ransomware Initiative meeting. It was a wonderful opportunity to work together on the difficult issues we face in cyberspace. So let me talk with you for a moment about that gathering, the International Counter-Ransomware Initiative, because it's truly at the core of what we're working to do internationally to ensure that the digital ecosystem we all rely on, from our hospitals, to our schools, to our electricity infrastructure, to the cell phones or the mobile phones we hold in our hands each and every day to communicate with friends and family and everyone else. So what do hospitals in England, France, and the US, government systems in Costa Rica and Montenegro, and banking systems in Nigeria, Japan, and various other Indo-Pacific countries have in common? Ransomware. Criminal networks around the world, many of which are based in Russia, use infrastructure around the world to disrupt cybersecurity systems of companies, of state and local governments, of schools, and of hospitals. Why? In order to be paid in cryptocurrency, ransom payments. In the United States in the last 2 years, entities in the US have paid $2.3 billion in ransom payments. And ransomware attacks are up 45% year over year. So in a world that feels increasingly more fractured, the United States convened allies and partners from around the world and established the Counter-Ransomware Initiative at the height of COVID to tackle this essence of a transnational problem set together. And we intentionally included diverse countries from every continent, and asked that they step up and take leadership roles. So for example, in the 4 components of this global partnership to secure the digital infrastructure that we all rely on, the diplomatic and capacity building aspect to help countries with different levels of capacity, different levels of trained personnel work together and build up that capacity, that effort is led by Nigeria and Germany, intentionally, a smaller country, smaller capabilities in this space from Africa and Germany with its heavy technical workforce and capabilities. Our work to counter the money laundering and the use of cryptocurrency to fund crime is co-led by the United Kingdom and Singapore. And then our work to really bring together law enforcement around the world is led by Australia. Interpol plays a key role as well. And as I said, the members of the initiative include countries varying from Costa Rica and the Dominican Republic to South Africa and Rwanda, to Singapore, South Korea, Japan, the Pacific Islands, and certainly countries all across Europe, from the UK to Lithuania and Estonia. So it highlights that in a fractured world, we can team to take on hard problems. In a world where cyber threats are global, we can address them. Addressing them requires shared effort, and we can do so. The key deliverables from this recent effort included a shared platform. So a country fighting cyber attacks can ask other countries for help and learn from the way other countries have defended themselves and quickly countered a threat. Coordinated capacity building with a focus on region-by-region approaches. A way to tackle the movement of cryptocurrency. We had a day worth of training for countries on how to do blockchain analysis to identify illicit use. And the first ever policy statement among the governments saying that governments themselves wouldn't pay ransom. So this offers a model for the way we can tackle hard digital threats. And indeed, as we look at artificial intelligence, which brings tremendous promise and peril, President Biden has talked about the need for us to tackle the peril in order to glean the promise. And his landmark executive order both addresses both areas, tackling areas of potential peril, like bias in loans, like ensuring that when AI is used in the education system, it's used in a way that there is oversight to ensure children are learning and the data is used in a safe way, as well as the promise, looking at areas, for example, like our Department of Agriculture is doing, looking at how climate change can best drive changes in our agricultural practices so food production can continue, emergency management, so we can use computer vision models to better quickly identify satellite collection in the middle of a fire or a flood to help emergency responders get to people most quickly. All of these have tremendous promise, and we're committed to working on that in an international way. Indeed, the United States and the European Union signed a memorandum of agreement to focus on AI for public good in 5 areas together. And I'm tremendously proud of the work France is doing in that area and the opportunity there will be for deeper partnership, both clearly addressing the perils and, even more importantly, gleaning the promise for our countries, for our citizens, and for all of our partners and individuals around the world who rely on our values and on our history of partnership to make an impact and make a difference. A thank you once more to the French American Foundation. I was honored to be a French American Fellow many years ago. I apologize I can't be there in person, but I'm so excited to see this partnership continue, and congratulations on all that's been accomplished together. Au revoir and be well.